Okay, well, we're inside the Broch. We're working on the occupation deposits and starting to bring up more of these vivid floor deposits and occupation materials that relate to the last use of the Broch interior. And the nice thing is that as we start to clean up surfaces in here, we're starting to see uprights, the stumps of uprights emerging in the western half of the Broch. That kind of goes with what we're seeing in the eastern half to some extent. So these are presumably parts of the uprights that are demarcating the use of the space inside the Broch itself. And you can even see tucked up against them quite often there are little deposits of bone, animal bone. So there's the odd vertebra over here, other little bone items dotted around, and these seem to be up against these uprights. And then as we make our way over into the Broch, into the sort of western, southwestern part of the Broch itself, we've got this very dark, organic-y material. It's very rich, and when it hasn't dried a little bit as it has today, because it's been very fine weather, and you can just see how black and organic and rich that actually is. That's the very uppermost horizon in here that makes sense in terms of it being related to the last occupation, the last activity inside the structure itself. But over in the far southwest, not far from the opening into the southern cell over there, we've got this enormous pit that we've encountered. It was absolutely chock-a-block with stonework, filled up with stone, and we've half-sectioned it, and it's descending down. It has a feeling of almost being stone-lined, but beyond and behind the sort of voided sides of the pit as it stands at the moment, we also get a sense that there may well be structure, there may be walls, coarse masonry or upright panels of masonry actually lining it. It doesn't necessarily look as if it's actually truncated a lot of the floor deposits in here. So one possibility is that it is actually an original feature of the Broch floor, perhaps set down, sunk down, something like a tank or something at subfloor level, which is subsequently, and during the backfill and abandonment of the Broch, has been filled in with rubble. But we've only half-sectioned it partially at the moment. We've not actually reached the bottom of that pit. Already it's actually quite some depth, and we don't think it's actually at the bottom yet. But the sides of it don't tend to reveal a huge amount of floor deposits that that the pit has cut through. So we're hopeful that that might actually turn out to be an original feature and hasn't disturbed and destroyed any of the earlier floor deposits. But we shall see. And then as you come right over into the kind of the eastern core of the Broch, you can see some of the floor deposits that we've previously been excavating. All we're doing at this stage is actually cleaning up, giving these floor deposits a nice sharp clean, so that we can identify where we left off last time in this area, and we're preparing these floor deposits for further sampling, geochemical sampling and micromorphology sampling, where we're actually going to obtain samples from these floor deposits, we hope, that will give us a much stronger insight into the actual nature of the use, the nature of the deposition. Have people been trampling around in here? Are these food preparation areas? Are these areas where there's been things being made? But the secrets of these floor deposits will, to some extent, we hope, will be locked up in the chemistry of these soils, and also in the microscopic appearance of these soils. So that we'll turn these into microscope slides that will then be examined under the microscope by a micromorphologist, and that will help us to tell the story of what's actually happened in these floors.